I am not a very new person in the judiciary. I'm Johnson Ojuang. I'm here with my family. They can wave. My son is there, the engineer. Is the one Mudoni is following. Mine is very, very short. Jacqueline was a very bright lady. When she was in school, because I live in Meru, I reside in Meru, but I was born in Mufangano Island, for those people who have gone to Kisumu. When she was in Igoji Girls, and when she was in Form 3, I was telling her, Jacqueline, I normally call her Sonny because she was named after my mother-in-law. Why is it that you are not studying? Then she told me, Daddy, don't worry, because one of these days I will join you in the judiciary. Then I was telling her, why do you say that you will join me in judiciary? You are not studying. Then she says, don't worry, I will go through that one. And that is exactly what Jacqueline did. And when she got the marks which could enable her to go to Eldoret Moi University, she said, did I tell you, Dad, that I'm going to go through this one and you did not believe me? So she did what she was telling me. So when Jacqueline finished a degree of law, she went to Kenya School of Law. She practiced for some times, and my time to leave the judiciary was also I was about to exit the judiciary by then. I must be very thankful to the judiciary that barely 4 months when I left. In fact, we were just joking with Jacqueline, and Jacqueline told me, oh, Daddy, let me just try. And she was successful. So, to cut the story short, Jacqueline, when she got appointed, I came with her in Nairobi, and she told me, Dad, she was very humble, don't tell people what I'm doing. Don't tell them where I'm working. I just want to remain what I am. So Jacqueline, I used sometimes to joke with her, hey, Honorable. I said, Dad, why do you call me Honorable? Call me by my name. So she was just simple like that. And when Jacqueline passed on, because I've been in the judiciary for some times, I was so surprised because I saw through a social media, one of the judicial officers says, hey, Ojuang, I normally, indeed, around dawn, Pole sana. I say, why is it that he's telling me Pole sana? I just didn't get it right. Then a few minutes, because I normally put my phone on silent, I got a very sad news from one of my relatives that I'm needed in Eldoret because Jacqueline cannot even talk. But he was just hiding me because Jacqueline was already dead. I said, what is this? I can just agree with what the other speaker has just said. Some of these things you must accept them. Because my wife was going to the church, I said, let me call my wife. This is something which I cannot bear. I didn't know how to start. But I thank the judiciary that they stood with me. They stood with the family. They came, those who came in numbers, the judges and the magistrates. I also thank the Honorable Chief Justice because you consoled me. You really made my heart to know that judiciary is actually taking care of everyone. And to the people of Mfangano, Jacqueline was the only lady and a female magistrate and the only magistrate in Mfangano Highland to work as a magistrate. Mfangano is orphan. Mfangano doesn't have anybody. They were actually so surprised that they were having someone they will call the judge one time. Because it is a marginalized island on the side of Uganda for those people who have come there. But it's also a very beautiful place to visit, because some people who came there, even right now, they are telling me, when is the memorial service for Jacqueline? Because I said that one time God will give me money, we are going to establish Jacqueline Memorial Hospital, because the MP there and my nephew had proposed, so that it can also be like a memorial for Jacqueline. Jacqueline was a loving and humble. She was not ready to confront anybody. She was very, very lovely daughter of mine. And I really sometimes, today you are closing our file. On my side, it will remain open forever and ever. Amen. Thank you so much.
Miss Nancy Abos, on behalf of Honorable Zena Rashid.
The Honorable Chief Justice, and all protocol observed, good evening. My name is Nancy Abos. I stand to honor Honorable Zena Rashid Atete Jalenga. I remember Honorable Zena Atete Jalenga as she was more than a family to me. I met her when I was too young, and we walked with her in a journey of life. I met her when she was still an advocate. We worked together in her farm, and later on, when she joined Judiciary, she told me to join her to Judiciary and help her, as she was physical disabled. So I remember most of the times the hospital was part of our home. And in most of occasions, we used to do her work at hospital. She was that kind of a person who never believes in tomorrow. And she believed in service to people. And sometimes she was that kind of a person who could motivate me. And I remember last year when she was critically ill, she told me I take her to India. And when we went to India, she told me that I need to go back to school because she might not be there for me for long. So when we came back, I took that step and went to school. And yeah, it was more than a disbelief when she passed on, just one day after my admission to school, that I was called that Zena was dead when I was in class. I couldn't believe. I switched off my phone and yeah, I didn't make my way home because somehow she was a source of happiness to me. And sometimes I even questioned God, why her? Because I can't count how many times I had to fast, I had to cry for her sake, just asking God to give her a second chance. As we all know, all people grieve differently. And when you meet with a person, your relationship is always different. For her, to me, she was like a mother to me, a sister, a friend, everything you can call to this world. And even in her burial day, I was still in disbelief. I couldn't talk so much. As you all know, people grieve differently. Some may take a month, others may take a year, and some is a pain you have to ask your soul to accept so that you can live for it too forever. I want to thank the Chief Justice for honoring Honorable Zena Rashid. As she always smiles, I know where she is, she's so happy. And may her soul rest in peace.
My Lady, with humility, Honorable Caroline Kabucho, the Registrar Magistrates Court, is joining us online.
Honorable the Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Honorable Justice Martha Koome, members of the distinguished bench for the closing of file ceremony for our judicial officers, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, members of the Commission, members of the Law Society of Kenya, distinguished magistrates present, and all honorable judges, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We stand together today in a moment of solemn respect and deep reflection of the lives of our departed colleagues, Honorable Athman Abdullahim Hussein, Honorable Bernard Kipyegon Gut, Honorable Kunyut John Tito, Honorable Monica Kivuti, Honorable Timothy Oletanji, Honorable Jacqueline Mudoni Ojwang, and Honorable Zena Atetwe Rashid. This administrative act of formally closing the files of our departed judicial officers is far more than a routine duty. It is an opportunity to pause and tenderly honor the lives and the service of our colleagues I want us to know that
My Lady, the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Honorable Justice Martha Koome, distinguished judges presiding over this bench, honorable members of the Judicial Service Commission, represented here today by Commissioner Evelyn Olwande, distinguished judges present, I recognize the head of litigation, the office of the AG, the acting deputy director DPP, members of the senior council bar, members of the Law Society of Kenya, represented here today, distinguished judges, esteemed judicial officers, my colleagues, families and friends of our departed colleagues. Today marks a solemn and historic moment for the judiciary as we hold this inaugural special tribute session to honor judicial officers who passed away while in service. My Lady, the Chief Justice, on behalf of the entire body of judicial officers, I sincerely thank you for accepting the proposal to convene this special court session. During your tenure, your leadership has steadfastly upheld the tradition of honoring departed judges and senior counsel. Extending this honor to our judicial officers affirms your commitment to recognizing their dedicated service, offering comfort to their families, and ensuring that their contributions are preserved in our institutional memory. We humbly request that this practice be institutionalized as a permanent fixture of our judicial tradition. We assemble today in remembrance to honor 7 distinguished members of our judiciary family. We assemble today to formally close the files of these officers, and this act signifies far more than the completion of an administrative process. It is a profound gesture of institutional respect. It is a collective acknowledgement that their contributions to the administration of justice were meaningful, valued, and worthy of lasting commemoration. As we honor the following judicial officers, I would like to pay tribute to each and every one of them. Honorable Jacqueline Muthoni Ojwang is remembered for her warmth and unwavering kindness. Her service at Butere, Kibera, and Thika Law Courts reflected a rare blend of empathy and professional excellence. She touched many lives within the judiciary and beyond, leaving behind a legacy of integrity and humanity. Honorable Bernard Kipyegon Rugut, a quiet, diligent, and deeply committed judicial officer. Honorable Rugut served in Bondo, Nthiwa, Kericho, and later at Molo Law Courts with exemplary professionalism. Over 12 years, he embodied fairness, dedication, and humility. His gentle disposition, coupled with his steadfast devotion to duty, left an enduring impact on those he served and those who served alongside him. Honorable Tito Kunyuk distinguished himself as a scholar, a teacher, and a Kadhi, whose intellectual contributions transcended the courtroom. His writings, mentorship, and central role in shaping the Kenya Judiciary Academy curriculum secured him an honored place in our jurisprudential development. He is remembered not only for his scholarship, but also for his humility, virtue, and commitment to knowledge. Honorable Zena Atetwe Rashid Jalenga exemplified resilience, courage, and extraordinary devotion to service. Even in illness, she continued to work, insisting on attending to her duties so that the wheels of justice would not stall. She championed inclusivity and led the bar bench committee at MILIMANI commercial courts with distinction. Her life, though brief in the judiciary, illuminated the path for many. Honorable Monica Kivuti's tragic death in the line of duty remains one of the most painful and defining moments in our recent history as an institution. She served with integrity, patriotism, and unwavering sense of responsibility until her final moments. Her passing was not only a personal loss to the judiciary, it was a stark institutional awakening. It compelled us to confront with renewed urgency the reality that the safety and security of judicial officers is not merely an administrative concern, but a foundational pillar of judicial independence and effective justice delivery. Her courage, sacrifice, and dedication have since galvanized the judiciary to undertake a comprehensive rethinking of our security ecosystem. Guided by that painful lesson, we have strengthened our resolve to institutionalize robust security standards that safeguard every judicial officer and staff member as they execute their constitutional mandate. Her legacy continues to shape our strategic security posture. It reminds us that those who stand daily as guardians of justice must themselves be shielded by a system that values and protects their lives. Justice cannot thrive where those who deliver it are exposed and vulnerable. Her sacrifice anchors our collective commitment to ensuring that no officer will ever again face such danger without the full protection of the institution that they serve. Honorable Athman Abdullahim Hussein is remembered for his sincerity, humility, and quiet yet steadfast service to the judiciary. His professionalism and gentle character left a deep impression on those he worked with. His passing reminds us of the profound human contributions that sustain the administration of justice. Honorable Timothy Oletanchu was widely regarded as a brilliant practitioner, a mentor, a counselor, and a man of exceptional wisdom. His contribution to the development and administration of the law was significant and widely respected within the profession. He nurtured many, worked collaboratively with colleagues, and was admired for his intellect, kindness, and generosity of spirit. His passing leaves the judiciary poorer. Though these officers served in different jurisdictions and brought with them varied talents and experiences, they were united by a singular calling: to uphold justice with integrity, courage, and fidelity to the Constitution. Their files record their work, but their lives testify to their unwavering commitment to the rule of law. To their families, the judiciary extends its deepest condolences. We recognize the pain of your loss and acknowledge the sacrifices you made in supporting their service to this great nation. We stand with you and promise to keep their legacies alive. To all members of the judiciary family, as we close these files, we do not close the memory of our dear colleagues. Let their lives testify to an unwavering commitment to the rule of law. May we honor them not only by recalling their service, but by striving to embody the values of integrity, courage, and dedication they so honorably fulfilled. May the souls of our dear colleagues, Honorable Ojwang, Honorable Rugut, Honorable Kunyuk, Honorable Rashid, Honorable Kivuti, Honorable Athman Hussein, and Honorable Oletanchu rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
The President, Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association, Honorable Justice Peter Mulwa.
My Lady, the Honorable Chief Justice, my Lords, members of the tribute bench, my Lady, allow me to ride on the protocols which are being well laid out by the Honorable the Chief Registrar, Frida Mokaya. This evening, we participate in these historic proceedings, not just as an institution, but as a family in mourning and a family in resolve. We honor 7 pillars of our judiciary with profound feeling of individual and corporate sense of loss and responsibility. At a personal level, during my tenure as a registrar of the subordinate courts, the department were not just names on a register, not names on a roster. They were my colleagues, and they were my responsibility. We were brother and sister soldiers in the trenches of our shared mission for justice. At the time, I bore the solemn duty of looking at the map of our nation's justice needs and placing them where they were most needed. My Lady, to now stand and close their files is a duty no one will pleasure, but a solemn duty all the same and necessary. They are brothers and sisters we all knew too well, whose voices we recognized in the hallways of our workspaces. They were colleagues to whom this institution placed immense trust, the trust of dispensing justice to all, without favor, without ill will or affection. This tribute is a final deployment order of sorts, not to a court station, but to our eternal memory
and a renewed commitment to those of us who have been left. I'll briefly give their individual tributes, which may basically mirror on what the Chief Registrar said, possibly because of the positions we held when we interacted with them. Honorable Timothy Oletanchu. Timothy was the embodiment of a judicial workhorse. Looking at the list of court stations he has served, from the coastal plains of Mombasa to the arid frontiers of Garissa, we can see the map of our judiciary is rich in terms of access to justice. Deploying Timothy was a guarantee of a dedicated judicial officer. You knew that no matter how remote or challenging the station was, the flag of justice would be held high. He was the utility player, a steady and a reliable hand who understood that justice is not a metropolitan privilege, but a national right. We honor him for his immense versatility and unwavering dedication to duty in every corner of our republic where he served. Honorable Jacqueline Muthoni Ojwang, my Lady Chief Justice and my lords, members of the tribute bench, in Jacqueline we saw the bright future of our judiciary. She was not just a magistrate, she was a pioneer. The very first cohort of adjudicators who the Honorable the Chief Justice gazetted during the rollout of the Small Claims Court in Kenya. She was at the forefront of that revolutionary initiative, tasked with the heavy responsibility of making justice accessible, affordable, and expeditious for the common mwananchi. From the pioneering role in the Small Claims Court to our deployments in Kibera, Thika, and Butere, Jacqueline embodied the new dynamic face of our institution. Our passing is a stark reminder of the vibrant potential and the groundbreaking work that has been lost. We honor Jacqueline as a trailblazer who helped lay the foundation for a more responsive justice system in this country. Honorable Monica Kivuti. Honorable Monica's journey from Kiambu to Baricho and finally to Makandara was the story of a magistrate growing in stature. But her story ended in a way that has forever scarred our judicial conscience. Monica did not just pass away, she was brutally killed in the line of duty, in a place she should have been safest, her courtroom. Her death is a searing indictment of the security failures we can no longer afford to ignore. It ripped open a wound that many had chosen to ignore and forced a national conversation that I, as the president of the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association, have made a cornerstone of my mandate. We honor Monica not only for her steadfast service, but also for the terrible, profound sacrifice that must be the catalyst of permanent, tangible change, which must happen. Our memory is now irrevocably tied to the fight for the security of every judicial officer in this country. Honorable Atwete Rashid Jalenga. Honorable Zena Rashid was a bright spark in our fold, whose promise was so tragically brief. Her story was a profound inspiration. She did not just overcome odds, she redefined them. She was the future we are all working for. Zena, to have that future so stolen abruptly is a different kind of pain. The pain of potential unrealized. The pain of a story ended in its first stage. As our colleagues, our hearts break for the journey she was so eagerly starting. Honorable Bernard Kipyego Nrugut. Bernard was a leader in the magistracy. The silence he leaves behind is deafening. Bernard exemplified the highest standards of integrity, professionalism, and compassion. Throughout his service in Bondon, Dhiwa, Kericho, and Mololo courts, we knew him for his patience, attentiveness, and his ability to ensure that at all times, those who came before him felt truly seen and heard. We grieve for his quiet strength and for the leadership that has been so cruelly ripped from our ranks. Honorable Kunyuk John Tito, a brilliant scholar, a revered giant in Sharia law. Tito graduated with exceptional qualifications from the TCIS and served in the judiciary with a distinction from 2013. This remarkable journey took him from Kajiado to Isiolo, to Kakuma, to Kisumu, to Nakuru, touching countless lives with his profound wisdom and the serene presence at the heart of diverse Muslim communities. Tito was a deep contemplative thinker and who dispensed justice rooted in faith and fairness. He enriched Islamic jurisprudence through scholarly articles, books we read, and conference presentations that we benefited from that transcended routine judicial work. We honor him for his service, and may Allah grant him Janatul Firdaus and comfort his beloved family. Honorable Athman Abdullah Hussein, Chief Kadhi. Chief Kadhi, Honorable Athman, our senior brother, a counselor whose door was always open. His passing felt like the falling of a great ancient tree that provided shade for all of us. He was a moral and a professional compass for the entire Kadhi's court structure. My interactions with the Honorable Chief Kadhi were always marked by his deep wisdom and his unwavering principle. In Islamic law, he was an institution. We honor the Chief Kadhi as a pillar of our collective judiciary and our leader of immense stature. To the families, the memories are real. They are vivid and they are personal. We remember our departed colleagues for their determination and belief in a just society, a readiness and the will to serve and uphold justice in every corner of the Republic. Let it be known and let it be immortalized in our records that they did not fail you. They did not fail the judiciary, and they did not fail the people of Kenya. These 7 souls were the hands and the feet of our highest calling. Today, as we symbolically close their files, we must forcibly open a new chapter on judicial, on the judiciary, for what we are all called upon to do. Our colleagues' legacy must strengthen and fortify us. We will transform our grief into grit and our mourning into a relentless movement for the benefit and the protection of all judicial officers. The decisions of our departed colleagues are now part of our jurisprudence. Their leadership is a part of our history. Their sacrifice is a permanent entry into the conscience of our nation. And so, we lower the gavel for the final time, not in judgment, but in profound gratitude. Your dockets are clear. Your court is adjourned. Go now in the perfect peace you so fiercely upheld in life. And may you find in eternity, the absolute justice you all sought to build here on earth. Until we meet again at the bench of the Almighty, colleagues, rest well. Justice be our shield and defender. now and always. Honorable Chief Justice, members of the tribute bench, I submit for the Kenya Magistrate and Judges Association. Thank you.
Honorable Evelyn Olwande, Commissioner, Judicial Service Commission.
May it please you, my lady, the Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, members of the tribute bench, members of the judiciary, judges and judicial officers, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, and family members of the departed friends, colleagues, and the entire judicial fraternity, members of the Law Society, representatives from the Attorney General and the Director of Public Prosecution, all protocols observed. Today, we gather not merely to close files, but to honor lives, lives devoted to justice, service, and humanity. We come together in solemn remembrance of our departed colleagues, men and women who carried the weight of responsibility with humility, compassion, and unwavering dedication to the rule of law. They served our nation quietly, steadily, and dutifully. Today, we speak their names with pride, gratitude, and deep respect. Honorable Timothy Oletanju, Senior Resident Magistrate. He served in the judiciary between May 2001 to 2024. Honorable Oletanju served with grace, humility, and a warm spirit. He was amiable, softly spoken, and deeply humane. His colleagues remember his ever-present smile and his ability to encourage others, even in challenging times. He embodied resilience, facing challenges with a courageous and stoic heart. In him, we saw what it meant to serve, not just as a judicial officer, but as a compassionate human being. Honorable Jacqueline Muthoni Ojwang, Resident Magistrate stroke Adjudicator, served in the judiciary between November 2021 and 2024. Though her time in the judiciary was brief, her impact was profound. Honorable Jacqueline represented integrity, commitment, and hope. Her deep love for service came at a symbolic moment. She joined the judiciary as her father, along serving judicial staff, was departing. Hers was quite literally a continuation of a legacy of justice. In her memory, we are reminded that service is not measured in length, but in depth, conviction, and heart. Honorable Monica Kivuti, Principal Magistrate, served in the judiciary between July 2013 and 2024. Honorable Kivuti was known for her strong moral compass, dedication to duty, and compassion for both law and humanity. She championed community initiatives and believed that justice must be felt beyond courtroom walls. Her tragic death in the line of duty continues to prick the conscience of the judiciary and the Judicial Service Commission. Her passing reminds us that those who dispense justice must be able to do so in safety and in dignity. Her sacrifice shall not be in vain. As the Judicial Service Commission, we reaffirm our commitment that we shall not rest until the security of all judiciary personnel and court users is assured. Honorable Zena Atetwe Jalenga, Resident Magistrate stroke Adjudicator, served in the judiciary between August 2023 and 2024. Honorable Zena Jalenga was among the newest members of our judiciary, but her dream, energy, and conviction were unmistakable. At MILIMANI Commercial Court, she stood firmly for justice and inclusivity. She believed that true justice must be accessible, especially to persons living with disability. She lived that belief through her work, her advocacy, and her compassion. She leaves behind a legacy of inclusion, courage, and quiet strength. Honorable Bernard Rugut, Principal Magistrate, served in the judiciary between July 2012 and 2024. Honorable Rugut exemplified judicial professionalism. Fair, diligent, and morally grounded, he served the judiciary with such consistency and grace that his colleagues fondly remember him as the gentleman magistrate. At Molo Law Courts, he led not with authority alone, but with empathy, fairness, and humility, the essence of judicial conduct. Honorable Tito Kunyuk, Principal Kadhi, served in the judiciary between January 2013 and 2024. Honorable Kunyuk was not only a judicial officer, he was a scholar, a historian, and a community pillar. His intellectual body of work on Islamic family law, the history of the Kadhi's court, and Turkana cultural heritage will live on long after him. His passion for community service was extraordinary. He lifted and walked with his people. His life teaches us that justice is not merely a profession, it is a calling of both heart and mind. Honorable Abdul Halim Hussein, Chief Kadhi of the Republic of Kenya, served in the judiciary between January 2005 and 2024. Honorable Hussein was a visionary, a bridge between tradition and constitutional order. As Chief Kadhi, he elevated the institution of the Kadhi's court and ensured its integration within the national judicial system, while honoring its religious foundation and integrity. He brought wisdom, humility, and foresight to every responsibility. In him, we saw the serenity of faith intertwined with the discipline of the law. Today, as we archive their files, we do not close their stories. These distinguished honorable men and women have written chapters into the life of our institution, chapters of courage, diligence, humility, faith, and humanity. Their work has shaped the judiciary. Their lives has touched our hearts. Their legacy will guide our future. On behalf of the Judicial Service Commission, we honor their service, cherish their memory, and assure their families that their contributions live on, not just in documents, but in the lives they touched, the people they served, and the justice they dispensed. May we, the living, carry forth their spirit with humility, purpose, and unwavering commitment to justice. May their souls continue to rest in eternal peace. Thank you. On behalf of the Judicial Service Commission, I submit.
I hand over the proceedings to my lady, the Chief Justice.
Thank you, all the colleagues, for your very profound submissions, and members of the family for your kind words of remembrance and tributes to our departed judicial officers. I invite Mr. Charles Mutinda to make concluding submissions before I make my closing address.
Thank you, Your Ladyship, Chief Justice, and members of the tribute bench, we have this afternoon heard the moving tributes and memories in honor of our departed colleagues. Your Ladyship, it is without a doubt that these special tribute proceedings provide comfort to the families of our departed colleagues, even as we acknowledge their invaluable contributions to the administration of justice. And so in closing, Your Ladyship and members of the tribute bench, I respectfully apply to this honorable special tribute court and make the following prayers. The first one, that these special tribute court proceedings for our 7 consolidated departed colleagues, and of course in the 7 consolidated miscellaneous applications, be formally adopted as a permanent record of this honorable court. The second one, that certified copies of these special tribute court proceedings be availed to the families of each of the 7 departed judicial officers, as well as all the magistrates' court archives, the High Court archives, and also the Law Society of Kenya, so that we may maintain the memories of our departed colleagues. And lastly, Your Ladyship and members of the tribute bench, this being a matter of professional courtesy and in the public interest, that there be no orders as to costs. I do pray, Your Ladyship. Thank you.
Before the bench pronounces the decision of the court, I would like to make my address. Honorable judges and judicial officers, members of the Judicial Service Commission, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, senior counsel and advocates present from the Office of the Attorney General and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, families and friends of our departed colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered this evening in solemn unity to perform one of the judiciary's most sacred and corrective duties of honoring, remembering, and giving dignified closure to the files of 7 of our colleagues who departed from us over the last 2 years. Each of these officers served our nation with devotion, humility, and integrity. Their passing has left an unmistakable void, not only within their families and communities, but within the judiciary family, which they so faithfully served. So today, as we remember Honorable Athman Hussein, Chief Kadhi, Honorable Monica Kivuti, Principal Magistrate, Honorable Bernard Lugut, Principal Magistrate, Honorable John Tito Kuinyak, Principal Kadhi, Honorable Timothy Oretanchu, Senior Resident Magistrate, Honorable Jacqueline Muthoni Ojwang, Resident Magistrate, and Honorable Zena Rashid, Resident Magistrate. We take this opportunity to honor them not only as judicial officers, but as parents, spouses, colleagues, friends, and mentors. These colleagues are also pillars of their communities. The grief we feel is deep but it is matched by our gratitude for the lives they lived, the example they set, and the sacrifices they made in the service of justice. Allow me to reflect on the lives and service of each one of them. Honorable Athman Hussein, our Chief Kadhi. He was a scholar in the truest sense of the word. He combined rigorous intellectual training with humility and profound spiritual depth. He served diligently across Malindi, Mombasa, Isiolo, Upper Hill, and finally as the Chief Kadhi, where he distinguished himself as a jurist whose wisdom, compassion, and mastery of Islamic jurisprudence inspired both the legal fraternity and the Muslim community. His judgments, marked by clarity and fidelity to fiqh principles, were a blend of textual precision and human understanding converged. He mentored countless young scholars and kadhis, and his pursuit of knowledge remained evident until his final day. We pray that Allah grants him the highest rank in Jannah. Honorable Monica Kivuti, her death remains one of the darkest moments in the history of our institution. She was attacked while discharging her judicial duties in a makeshift tent over lunch hour, still hearing cases so that litigants, many of them vulnerable, would not be turned away. Her life embodied the spirit of service. She was principled, courageous, and deeply committed to her oath of office. Her killing was not just a personal tragedy. It was an attack on the rule of law and on the independence of the judiciary. Our sacrifice must continue to inspire our unyielding defense of judicial independence and institutional safety. We continue to stand with our family and honor her memory as a heroine of justice. The Honorable Bernard Rugut Kipyegon, a principal magistrate who brought gentleness, diligence, and compassion to every station he served, from Bondo to Ndhiwa, Kericho, and Moro. His colleagues and court users consistently described him as patient, fair, and respectful. He listened attentively, decided calmly, and treated every litigant, no matter their station in life, with dignity. The mark he left behind is one of quiet excellence, the kind that changes lives not through grandeur, but through daily fidelity to the principles of law. His legacy endures in every person who walked out of his courtroom feeling they have been heard. Honorable John Tito Kunyak, Principal Kadhi, he was not only a judicial officer, but also a prolific researcher and community leader. His scholarship on Islamic family law, the history and jurisprudence of the Kadhi's courts, and the culture of his Turkana community enriched Kenya's intellectual and legal landscape. Throughout his service in Kajiado, Isiolo, Kakuma, Kisumu, and Nakuru, he was known for his clarity of thought. He was also known for fairness and compassion. Beyond the courtroom, he championed charity initiatives and community empowerment programs in Turkana. He served justice with a scholar's mind and a pastoral heart. Honorable Timothy Ole Tanchu, was a warm, humorous, dedicated judicial officer who touched every life he encountered. His service across Makandara, Taveta, City Court, Mombasa, Limuru, and Kibera reflected his steadfastness and commitment to justice. He was empathetic in all his approaches and dealings with litigants. Colleagues admired his collegiality and strong sense of teamwork. He played an active leadership role in the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association, as well as the East Africa Judges and Magistrates Association, where he was deeply involved in judiciary sports as a member and patron in football clubs. His passing has left a profound void in our judiciary family. Honorable Jacqueline Muthoni Ojwang served with kindness, generosity, and a spirit of genuine friendships. From Kibera to Thika and Butere, she carried herself with humility and warmth. She was known for her courage and wisdom, for a gentle but firm approach to cases, and for the humanity she extended to colleagues and court users alike. Her absence is not only being felt in her home, Mfangano Highland, but is deeply felt across the entire judiciary. Honorable Zena Rashid. Her life stands as a profound testament of resilience, courage, and unwavering dedication to justice. From the moment she joined the judiciary, she approached her work with vibrant energy, optimism, and unmistakable passion for service. Her service at the MILIMANI Commercial Court reflected the same spirited commitment. She worked with diligence, fairness, and compassion, ensuring that every litigant who came before her felt heard and respected. Having lost her sight, Honorable Zena transformed her adversity into a powerful platform for advocacy, becoming a champion for the rights of persons living with disabilities and serving with distinction on the board of the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. Her story is one of extraordinary strength, turning personal hardship into public service, and her legacy will remain an enduring source of inspiration within the judiciary. Colleagues, learned friends and family members, and friends of our departed colleagues, these 7 judicial officers came from different corners of our nation. They served in different courts. They presided over different matters and lived different lives. Yet they were bound by the same calling, the calling to serve justice with integrity, without fear or favor. Their stories remind us that the judiciary is not sustained by statutes and structures alone. It is sustained by the people who inhabit its halls with courage, compassion, discipline, and honor. As we close their files today, we do not close their memory. We affirm their legacies as part of the enduring institutional memory of the judiciary of Kenya. Their service forms part of the strong foundation upon which we continue to build a more accessible, a more independent, and a more people-centered justice system. We thank their families for the sacrifices they endured, for their patience, and for the support that enabled these 7 distinguished judicial officers serve our nation so diligently. The judiciary stands with you today and always. In honoring them, we also recommit ourselves to the ideals they embodied. Let their lives remind us of the solemn duty placed upon us by our Constitution to administer justice without fear, favor, bias, or prejudice. Let their example strengthen our resolve to uphold the dignity of every person who enters our courts. And let their memory encourage us to support one another as a family bound by a shared mission. May the souls of our 7 departed colleagues continue resting in eternal peace. May their families find comfort in knowing that their loved ones served with distinction, which we celebrate today, and that their contribution to justice in Kenya will never be forgotten. I thank you all for your attention. My honor and privilege to request the presiding judge, Environment and Land Court, the Honorable Mr. Justice Oscar Angote, to read the order of the court.
Thank you very much, Chief Justice. This is the ruling of the court in the matter of the special tribute for the late Honorable Athman Abdullahi Hussein, Honorable Bernard Kipiego Ragut, Honorable Kanyuk John Tito, Honorable Monica Kivuti, Honorable Timothy Oletanjo, Honorable Jacqueline Modoni Ojwang, and Honorable Zena Atewe Rashid. Upon considering the application by the Honorable Attorney General and the submissions made in form of tributes in the honor of the late Honorable Athman Abdullahi Hussein, Honorable Bernard Kipiego Ragut, Honorable Kanyuk John Tito, Honorable Monica Kivuti, Honorable Timothy Oletanjo, Honorable Jacqueline Modoni Ojwang, and Honorable Zena Atetwe Rashid, we find merit in the application. Accordingly, we hereby direct that 1, these special proceedings be and are hereby adopted as a permanent record of this court. 2, the certified copies of the proceedings together with the written tributes shared by the various speakers be available to the family of the late judicial officers, as well as the Magistrates Court Archives, the High Court Archives, and the Law Society of Kenya. 3, this being a matter of great professional and public interest, there shall be no order as to cause, and we hereby order. Thank you very much.
My Lady, the Chief Justice and the presiding bench, we will now hand over mementos to each of the families, and we will begin with the family of the late former Chief Kadhi. The memento will be received by Mr. Shakue Kahala Kombo. The memento includes the portrait, the tributes, and decisions that were rendered by our departed judicial officers. Honorable Purity Rugut. Mr. Omar Sakwa. Mr. Mutima Kangata. Mrs. Patricia Tanchu. Mr. Johnson Ogjuang, Miss Nancy Abos, thank you so much, my lady, and the presiding bench. My lady, you may take your seat together with the presiding bench. Thank you, the Honorable the Chief Justice and the tribute bench for presiding over these special sittings in honor of the departed judicial officers. This being a special sitting, I will now invite the following persons to give a vote of thanks in the following order. We will start with Mr. Maura Kabata on behalf of the legal fraternity. Will be followed by Mr. Mutima Kangata on behalf of the family of the departed judicial officers. And lastly, Ms. Jan Mohammed, Senior Counsel, on behalf of the Senior Counsel Bar. Mr. Kabata.
Honorable the Chief Justice and the tribute bench, my lords, allow me to convey a hearty gratitude from the Law Society of Kenya, first and foremost for the efficacy in delivering the orders in this application sought by Mr. Charles Mutinda from the Attorney General's office. Also, allow me to take this opportunity to extend our warmest gratitude for the invitation to the Law Society of Kenya to participate in these file closing proceedings. Honorable Chief Justice and your bench, I have had a lot of positive remarks in support of what the judiciary has done to the families of the 7 departed colleagues, and on that I wish to let you know that the payment can only be done by God. Receive that while you can hear Madam CJ as well as your tribute bench. To the families of the departed 7 colleagues, poleni sana. We are grateful to participate in these proceedings with you. We know that the pain may not be assuaged only by words, but the memories will live with you forever. I like using a prayer that I learned somewhere which says, I pray to God that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and lead you only the cherished memories of the loved now lost, in the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid down individually a price so costly upon the altar of justice. To the senior counsels present and the members of the Law Society of Kenya present, I thank you for participating in these proceedings with us, and to the members of the Kenya Judges and Magistrates Association, I also thank you for standing with your colleagues, your departed 7 colleagues, and for all those who made these proceedings a success, including the media team as well as the security team at the door. We are extremely grateful for your participation and your input in the success in these proceedings. Madam CJ and your tribute bench, on behalf of the Law Society of Kenya, I submit our gratitude. Asante sana.
May I now call upon Mr. Mutima Kangata?
Thank you, Madam Chief Justice. I take this opportunity to, on behalf of myself, my family, and the families of the departed, to thank you personally, to thank the bench, and to thank the judiciary for taking this unprecedented step. I believe it has never happened before. It has happened among senior members of LSK, Law Society, but not in the judiciary. So it is precedent setting. Unlike Justice Mulwa said, we trust that this is going to be institutionalized so that it becomes the norm going forward. Once again, thank you very much, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Ms. Jan Mohammed, on behalf of the Senior Counsel Bar.
Madam Chief Justice and members of the tribute bench, judges, advocates and everything, mine is a simple duty to say first thank you very much in this precedent-setting ceremony, but I'm hoping that we don't have too many more of these, because whilst it's precedent-setting, we don't want too many of our people going, so let's hope there won't be another one for 10 years. That's all I can say. But thank you very much to the judges, to all the protocols I may get wrong, simply for the reason I believe I'm a lot older than a lot of people here, so I might get the protocols wrong, so forgive me for that. But thank you, judicial officers, for coming, members of the families of the 7 judicial officers who've passed away. It may be difficult, but remember one thing today, that the judiciary and the legal fraternity, the senior counsel bar, all remember your family members that you've lost. So let's just take solace in that. Easier said than done, but do take solace and remember that, like I said, you will always be in our hearts because of what your partners, your spouses, your daughters did. And with that, thank you very much for coming. And once again, like I said, the people we always forget are our court assistants. We never thank them. They go through a lot. They set up everything. So court assistants, I know you're not your normal court assistants, you're DRs, but thank you very much as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Senior Counsel. We have come to the end of the formal proceedings of closing of files proceedings in memory or in honor of our departed judicial officers. At this point, we will all rise and bow in conclusion of the proceedings. We may take our seats for the next brief session. Now that we have formally ended the session, the proceedings, we will get into the photo session. And Ms. Lillian Mweni from DPAC will take charge from here.
Thank you. We are going to have a permanent bench, which will comprise the bench, the bench on top. Then we are going to have the CRJ. Then we are going to have Honorable Rwanda representing JSC and the president of KMJA. We are going to have the photos here. That will be our permanent bench. We are not going to move. We are going to be joined by the family of Athman Hussein. Next. Thank you very much. So the family of Bernard. As you take that photo, the family of Tito, John Tito, will be next. Thank you very much. The family of John Tito. As we take that photo, the family of the late Monica Kivuti will be next. The family of the late Monica Kivuti. And as we take that photo, the family of